What's going on, everybody? Cigar Show Tim here with another edition of Tobacco Talk, where I review a cigar and then I give you my thoughts on it in four key areas: flavor, draw, construction, and burn. It's everything you want to know about that cigar, but it's from my palate's perspective, and then I rate it as to whether I think it's snub worthy or not. So this review comes to me from a good brother of the leaf, Sticks at the Shore. Robert, you have heard me shout him out on my channel before. He sent me a care package, a number of weeks ago, and this was actually in it. And I had not tried the brand before. I will admit, I tried this one about a week ago or so, and I thought, you know what, it's time to review it. So, since I have not reviewed any El Septimos on my channel so far, this review is on the El Septimo Luxus Blue Rebelde. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering it, but that is it right there. Absolutely beautiful band right there with the color. But the Blue Rebelde is what it looks like right there. And boom. So we'll get into the blend. We'll get into all of that in just a minute. But if we're going to review it, there's only one way to do it. Let's light it up. All right. I went with a straight cut as I usually do. You can see right there. On the cold draw, pretty typical. You get the dried fruit, get the breadiness, all of those flavors, a little bit of sweetness, maybe a little bit of brown sugar in there. But let's toast her up. Okay, upon initial light up, getting a lot of woodiness, a lot of medium woodiness. I'm going to call it like a pretty strong cedar wood note in there. A little bit of faint leather and faint cocoa and some earthiness, but that medium woodiness is absolutely the most prominent flavor note. Then there's a little bit of like a, I'll call it black peppers because it's developing a little bit more on the finish, but dancing between a white pepper and a black pepper. So I'm going to jump into the first third. I will let you know what the blend is on the cigar when I come back, any flavor notes, what's gone on with it, how it's been treating me, and a little more information on, well, this cigar. Let me show you the burn here at the end of the first third. Not doing all that great at all, actually. You're probably going, Tim, what happened? The only answer I've got, I smoked it. So let's get to the blend on this Rebelde Blue by El Septimo. Well, first, the size of it, it is a 5.5 by 56. So shorter than a Toro, typical length of a Robusto, but larger ring gauge than a traditional Robusto. So it's in between the two, sort of like a Robusto Grande, Robusto Gordo. I've heard it referred to a couple different things. But the blend on it, it's very, very easy. Completely undisclosed. No clue what it is. All it says is that the country of origin is Costa Rica. So that is all it says on this here. Flavor notes on it. That medium woodiness is still the most prominent flavor note that is in here. It's actually very nice. It's very smooth. It's not overpowering. I'd say strength on this right now is probably about a good solid medium. Nothing more than that. It may be ramping up a little bit as I'm getting into the second third here, but time will tell on it. But so far, it is very one note. It is mostly that cedar wood. It's a very smooth, nice cedar note. But the leather cocoa kind of coffee combination, I don't think I mentioned coffee actually, but leather and cocoa note that was there upon initial light up, most of that is pretty much gone. There is a little hint of a white pepper now. The black pepper is definitely not the note. It is a white pepper, but it is a very smooth cigar. So I'm hoping that the burn will correct itself. I may have to touch it up because, as you can see right there, it is definitely wonky, and I don't want to ruin the experience of the cigar. And the one that I had back about a week ago, as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, did not burn this unevenly, so it may just be this one. So I'm not discounting as they're all going to be this way, because fortunately I had another one. Thank you, Robert, for sending them out again. And so that's what it's like in the first third. When I come back, I'll let you know more information that I find out on this cigar, flavor transitions, profile, anything like that. And well, we'll go from there. All right, let me show you the burn here at the end of the second third. You can see that it did get better. I did touch it up after the last third, after I finished that segment, because I did not want to risk ruining the experience with a cigar. The flavor notes in the second third of this. there's that medium cedar wood, but there's a really nice, like, baking spice nuttiness that's in there. I'm not going to call it caramel. I'm not going to say nutmeg, cinnamon, and those things. Just a really nice baking spice that's in there. And it balances out a lot with the medium cedar wood. But I will tell you, the black pepper spice definitely came back, and you really notice it through the retrohale. Not overpowering, but it's definitely going to sting your sinuses if you are not familiar, or used to, I should say, used to retrohaling. And if you don't like getting spiced through the retrohale, I wouldn't recommend retrohaling this one. But it is very nice, doing very well. Strength on this, I would say, is probably medium, touching in a medium plus, but I'm going to say strength is a good solid medium still. I would say it's a medium to full bodied cigar in terms of depth of the flavors, richness, long finish, all those different things. Price point on this, it's $30. El Septimo is a brand that is not known for having entry level price points when it comes to their cigars. Entry level meaning 10, 12, 15, $17, even $20. I mean, El Septimo is known for being on the more higher middle end, or middle higher end, I should say, of the price point range. But overall, with the draw is doing fantastic. I haven't commented on that at all, but the draw is doing very, very well. And with the flavor notes, I am enjoying it quite a bit now, much more in the second third. And I do remember when I had it last time that I did enjoy the second third. I won't give away how the final third on this cigar is with the different flavor notes and things of that nature, but it is doing very well. The drawn is nice. It is just a little bit squishy. There's a little bit of a give to it. I don't know if it'll pick it up on the camera. You can see just a little bit of a give. Actually, quite a bit there when you look at it on camera. Quite a bit of give, as a result of probably the tobacco heating up, it expanding, but also not quite a tight pack. And honest opinion, in a $30 cigar, you shouldn't get that. Plain and simple, when you're spending $30 for a cigar, especially a premium hand rolled cigar, you should have a good solid pack in that cigar. To me, I would say that this one specifically is underpacked. It is not filled with enough filler in the whole rolling of it to really justify, if you will, the $30 price point as of right now in that area specifically. In terms of burn, you just saw it is doing better. Construction, all of that, it is doing better here in the second third. But I'm going to jump into the final third. I'll finish up the cigar, and when I do, I will come back and let you know my take on it, any changes in the flavor profile, strength, all those different things, and give you any more information I think you guys might need to know, especially if you're not familiar with El Septimo or have not had their cigars as of yet. So, here's to the final third. All right, let's wrap up this review. Here's the burn at the end of the cigar. Pretty much straight now. Doing very, very well. Okay. Flavor notes as the cigar wrapped up. So that nuttiness that had the baking spice is still there. The baking spice is pretty subdued, and I really only get it on the retrohale and the long finish. But that nuttiness is still very much prevalent. The pepper did ramp up, and that was what I expected it from what I remember from having it not too long ago. And it definitely will sting your sinuses. There's no doubt about it. It absolutely will sting your sinuses. But on the when you don't retrohale and you blow the smoke out across your palate, you still pick up that nice black pepper. It's very much more subdued, but it's very smooth, and it balances out with the medium cedar woodiness very, very nicely. That with the nuttiness and the pepper, all three of those combined are very harmonious, very, very nice. This final third on this one does live up more to a $30 price point cigar, from the burn to all of that. The draw, it is still squishy. I mean, you can see it's definitely got some give to it. And I do wish that it had a little bit of a tighter pack on it overall. I think that filling it just a little bit more wouldn't have been restrictive on the draw. It would have actually made it a little bit nicer to where I prefer it. It's a little bit of a loose draw now as it's finishing up in the final third. But overall, I can't complain about really much of anything in the final third. Strength on this, I would say, ended at a medium plus. It didn't get into the full strength at all, but it's definitely a medium plus, and a very nice, just sit back, relax. I won't say dessert-like cigar, but after a day to sit back, I could see this pairing well with a nice rye whiskey because of the spice that's in here, the spice that you'll pick up in a rye whiskey. I would see that this being very complementary to that. And so that's been my take on this here. It is a mouthful to say. It is the El Septimo um, Luxus. I'm blank on it now, but Rebelde Blue, I believe, is what it is. So it's a mouthful. I don't know what that translates into. I didn't take the time to look it up, but it is a good cigar. So overall, do I think this is noteworthy? If it was based just off the first third, I would tell you probably not. Completely honesty, complete honesty, I would probably tell you it wasn't noteworthy. It just was too one dimensional, and I didn't think that it was justifiable at the $30 price point. Still a good cigar, but not justifiable at a $30 price point to be noteworthy to want to go back to it over and over again. But with the second third, that got really, really good with that baking spice, with the nuttiness wrapped up into it. The pepper was a little bit on the border of being too much on the retrohale. Very good, solid second third. And the final third, the pepper ramped up quite a bit more, but it wasn't off putting if you don't retrohale. So overall, I would say that this is a noteworthy cigar. You have to decide for yourself whether you feel that this is a justifiable $30 per cigar price point. But that's up to you and your palate and what your budget is when it comes to purchasing cigars for you to enjoy. But overall, I would definitely say that this is a nub-worthy selection. And if you have checked out this cigar from El Septimo before, please put some comments down below. I'd love to know your take on it. Have you had it before? Was your experience similar to mine? Anything that you want to put down below. I tend to get quite a few comments of people when they're smoking and enjoying their cigar. They'll watch the review, they'll find them. And if that's where you are right now, put some comments. I'd love to know what you're experiencing. Was it very different from mine? Was it similar to mine? But I do think that that woody note, definitely that cedar note, is really what carried the cigar for me through the entire progression of the cigar. But put some comments down below. I'd love to know your take on it. But that's going to do it for this edition of Tobacco Talk. Enjoy your cigar journey, everybody. I'm Cigar Show Tim. As always, I'll see you